Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel for this Saturday morning, afternoon or evening across where we may be at. I hope you're all doing well today, and this video is going to be about the American TV chat show program Dr. Phil. I recently watched a episode clip on Facebook from the show about a autistic boy called Zak, and I thought I'd give my thoughts on it as a autistic woman. The first thing that I feel that wasn't really accurate or helpful for the autistic boy called Zak was the way that his parents spoke about him, saying that he was violent and dangerous, and the fact they've called the police on him because of how violent he's being. I don't necessarily think it was about him being violent. Like Dr. Phil actually pointed out a good idea, that part of this is him struggling to contain his emotions, struggling to express his emotions in a safe context. It's a way of him having meltdowns rather than potentially being violent, because he's not hitting people. Yes, I know they mentioned about him biting his mum and hitting his mum and stuff, which isn't okay. I don't condone violence in any shape or size or form at all, no. But as an autistic woman, to talk about him like he was a baby or a child, I know he was 9 or 10 years old at this point, but the way they talked about him did not need to be talked about like that. The fact that they were talking about him like he was some kind of out of control person, a person who is spoiled, and a person who craves his relationship with his grandmother, that shouldn't be condoned, condemned. It should be basically said that, he's closer to his grandmother than he is with his mum and with his dad and other family members. Obviously there is some form of resentment there, or some form of anger towards the mother, because obviously in the clip it mentioned that his mum had served in the military, had served abroad. So obviously I will thank her for her service and say congratulations, well done for serving in the military. It's a really brave thing to do. But again, when it comes down to Zak, they then got a behavioural psychologist involved. And the way that she talked to him, she's like, "So Zak, we're going to not run up the stairs, we're going to walk up the stairs, Zak. We're going to go and change your shirt, Zak. And we're going to go make your bed, Zak." And she's like, you're really undermining him, talking to him like he's some kind of dribble baby or young toddler. That really irritates me, because each autistic person is different. I know he's diagnosed with autism, and I believe he's also got ADHD and was on some form of ADHD medications, autism medications, which again, in my opinion, is another thing I disagree with this episode, because again, you don't give people with autism medication. That's extremely dangerous, because a lot of the medications that are pumped for people with autism are not worthy of working. They don't work, or they end up having worse side effects. So things like violence, nausea, things like that could weight gain, things that could irritate them, food intolerances. And it's a really dangerous circle once you start going down the medication route for autism and giving them anxiety medication or ADHD medication, which was listed in the Dr. Phil clip that I watched. It's extremely dangerous putting him on 3, 4, 5, 6 medications at one time, and then slowly taking him off one, and then putting him onto another one, and then taking him off one, putting him on, and it's just a constant cycle of being extremely dangerous. You wonder why he's gaining weight, you wonder why he's got an attitude, you wonder why he's violent, because part of this is the medication side effects, part of it is the fact that he's not being communicated with in the appropriate, straightforward way, and the fact that they got this behavioural psychologist involved, and she was just talking to you like, this is what we do, Zak, don't we? We go and put our t-shirt on, we walk up the stairs, we don't run up the stairs, Zak, we don't slouch, Zak. And it's just like, why are you undermining him? He clearly knows what he's meant to be doing, and yes, he may need that enthusiasm, he may need that straightforward communication to go, Zak, please don't do this, let's go and do that, let's go up the stairs and put a new t-shirt on. Fair enough, if he needs some commands, that instructions to do as the simple task that he's meant to be doing, fine. But don't talk to me like, oh, well done, Zak, you've made your bed. That is so patronising and undermining, because each autistic person is not a baby, each autistic person communicates differently, and to talk to him like he was just a baby, I found really irritating and quite sickening. It sort of brought that lump in my throat. I thought, why are you talking about him like he's some dangerous person when he clearly isn't? He's a child who's gone through a lot of his life so far without his mother being there due to her being in the military, and then his dad working away a lot. So when his dad's at work, obviously he's left with the grandparents who they live with. So again, that's going to be changing a routine, because when you're going through something like changing the routine and he's only used to seeing one set of his grandparents or his dad once in a while, or his mum now that she's come back, and then his brother, and obviously that's going to be a sibling rivalry thing, because one, like I said, one minute he can be okay with the brother, next minute he wants to hurt him. One, he can be in a good mood, then he can swap him just being in a bad mood. Again, this is down, I believe, to medication. I believe it's down to a lack of communication from the mum and dad. I believe that he's not as violent. I think the violence is down to having potential emotion overloads, overstimulation, having too much sensory input to communicate out to others. I think he's really struggling to put himself into a safe context, and he did say in the clip you heard from Zak himself saying that he didn't want no more fighting, no more arguing. Again, the behaviour psychologist said to him, that's what they all want, Zak. We all want no more fighting, we all want no more arguing. How are we going to do this? And again, it's just the fact of talking to him, like, he straightforward said what he wants, no more fighting, no more arguing. So again, it's down to communication, it's down to the way they obviously talk to him and interact with him, and him showing the appropriate ways of communication back to them. I'm not condoning violence at all. Like I said, violence is never the answer. No, you don't hit your mum, you don't hit your dad, you don't swear, you don't shout, you don't try and hit your brother, like, or your sister, like, you don't do that. But again, there needs to be some form of just not automatic. I felt like having the behaviour therapist, psychologist lady there was kind of punishing Zak a little bit, because it's like, oh, what do we do, Zak? We don't run up the stairs, we don't slouch. And I just thought, what? He's a young man, don't treat him like a baby. Like, it's just, no. So I think we need to improve the way we communicate with all people with autism, ADHD, neurodivergency in general, OCD. And I think that this is just going to be a case of he needs to get the right help and have less overstimulation. He needs a structured routine. He needs the same routine all day, every day. He needs to be communicated with. He needs to be told when no is no, rather than the parents giving in to him with regards to taking him for a takeaway food, or if they're driving somewhere and he demands to have a takeaway, say, right, okay, Zak, we can have one takeaway a week or two takeaways a week, and the rest of the time you'll eat the food that we are making for you. Like, it's about knowing his boundaries and knowing what to expect. Once he knows what to expect, I'm sure he'll cooperate better. But again, it's down to like a structure, like a routine, and obviously things in school probably aren't helping him, because he's obviously 9, 10, he's obviously in school, so that's probably another environment where he's getting overstimulated, he can't cope, he's probably very lonely, because people don't really understand autism in the schooling system, let's be honest. But yeah, overall I did find it a really good episode. It's just little things that could have been tweaked better, and I think, you know, the parents just need a bit more understanding about what autism spectrum is. I think they need a bit more support. But yeah, let me know. I will link the episode down below in the video description, and I will see you next time. Bye.